Yeah, we have to. There are people watching us right now. Hello, and welcome to episode 3, part 1 of Unfettered. Um, we were being complete idiots just 30 seconds ago, and I promise that won't stop. um, Crispy, Top Hat, how you doing? Specifically, starting with Crispy, how's your week been?
Starting with who?
You?
Top Hat?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I can't really hear you.
Kill me.
All right, I'm doing pretty all right.
Yeah? Do anything interesting this week, or just being a nerd?
I never do anything interesting.
Sounds good. Top Hat?
I got this new chair. It's comfy. I realigned my camera so I'm actually in the center of it. And, yeah.
I'm jealous. This office chair is like half my age, and it's really not comfortable. But you know what? I work with what I got. My week was uncharacteristically busy. I went to a live concert on Tuesday. It was really good. 2 bands from New Orleans called Sweet Crude and Tank and the Bangas, both of which are great. I highly recommend them. I got the posters up in my closet back there. And then Wednesday I socialized and left my house, which who does that? I had a company party that I went to last night, and yeah, so I'm gonna do my best to be an actual human being and have a functional brain for GMing today, but
Stop that.
we'll see. Yeah, so why don't we play some D&D? Does that sound good to you guys?
We're just gonna spend the entire session having like a cool chill out sesh on our pleasure palace.
Yeah, the two of you and the other 2 named NPCs, Kelly and Roderick, are just gonna hang out on the Pleasure Palace, which, for any viewers who don't remember, is the yacht that they stole from a student in the last session. Just playing cards and shit for 4 hours, and we'll just roleplay that. Does that sound good?
Yeah, actually, I just want to go into town, and we're just going to spend the entire time negotiating prices.
Oh no, not this shit again! No, never again. No.
I'll just drive over to Top Hat's house. We'll make it more realistic. I'll try and buy the chair off him.
It's my least favorite thing. Pro tip for any aspiring GMs: if your players ever go into town and just sit there with the player's handbook, looking at prices for items, just make something happen to them. Save yourself the pain. Just attack them with monsters or steal their stuff. Just anything, because
we don't have to be pirates. We can just sit and look at the player's handbook. And our prey will come to us.
Alright, and
2 birds, 1
our
stone.
session opens. Our session today opens with a view of a fairly large airship. There's crew on the deck, handling the rigging and getting the sails pulled in, and our camera's panning across the deck, showing us all of these clearly experienced sailors at work, until we arrive at a woman with the captain's tricorn hat with a huge old feather coming off of it, and a leather jacket that's almost more stitching to repair holes than it is leather at this point. And she's walking down the deck, and she leans over the railing and shouts for her crew to pull in the sails and get ready to dock. And then she turns off camera and she says, "You there! Stormheart, was it? Come here." And we see a slightly younger Constance Stormheart in what looks like maybe what was once an Imperial uniform, but has been intentionally retailored to not be so Imperial anymore. Like where there would have been epaulets, those have been cut off, and like the sleeves have been modified. So Constance walks up to this captain. You see, Constance, we're about to be arriving at Sanctuary. You heard of the place?
I mean, what sailor hasn't?
I have a feeling about you, Stormheart. You're not going to be some deck monkey. Not for long, not you. You stick with me, kid. And we'll see you seeing new adventures away from the Empire. And our camera like rotates around behind the two of them, and we see sort of this like haphazard city slapped onto what is effectively a floating island in the middle of the sky, with these like, you know, improbably tall wooden buildings that like aren't straight. They're like jutting off to one side in some places. You see like the prow of a boat sticking out somewhere, and in the center one large galleon moored, and it just says Sanctuary across the bottom. And we hold that shot, but the ship fades, and the ship that we have come to know, Lord Austenwald's Revenge, slides into frame with Albert and Constance standing on the deck in modern day.
All right, you maggots. Get them.
Such a nice captain.
Get the sails. You there. Stop fucking around and get to work. We have to dock this ship. Well.
Evan, the camera pans up to Constance, tied up in the rigging, hanging upside down.
Okay.
Just, Albert, I need some help.
Ignore her cries for help. She deserves it.
I think Kelly is standing next to you, Albert. She says, Captain, are you sure you shouldn't let her down at this point? It's been a day.
You see, we're pirates now, but there's a certain level of authority that we have to establish. Capital punishment must be as extreme as possible.
I just wanted an extra sweet roll.
She scuffed. There's scorch marks. I'm going to need a proper sander in order to get those marks off of my desk.
She like raises her hand and like
high treason.
She and Roderick just pass each other a glance, like not worth it. All right, so you're on approach to Sanctuary. Unlike Illand, this is not an imperial town. It's a free holding in no man's land, so it's self-governed. Specifically, it's governed by a council of pirates. So it's the I think it's 6 most powerful pirate captains in the region. So their names are probably recognizable to you guys. If you look in your journal, you will have a handout in just a moment. Boop. There you go. Under locations in the handouts. But yeah, the captains are people that you would, at least Constance would know of. So if you ever want that information, you can just ask. But yeah, so Imperials don't really come by. You'll occasionally see an Imperial ship stopping by to resupply, but it's clear that they don't have authority there. So it's become, over the years, this pirate haven. So hence why you're going there. So what would you like to do as you are coming into port?
Well, I think as we're coming up, Albert will eventually let Constance down because I know she'd just burn down the rigging at a certain point.
Just cut all the rigging to just get myself down, and the ship's just crippled after that.
Yeah, no. She won't do it while we're flying, but as soon as we stop,
yeah, we can pay for repairs.
like, oof, no, we're not dealing with that. So I'll cut her down, and I'll be like, all right, we need to try and gather some crew while we're here. Do you have any good inns?
Well, which one of these is an inn?
What's up?
The Cheerful Nimbus is a tavern near the docks.
Cheerful Nimble.
Do you have any inside information or contacts that you could grab a hold of?
I mean, I can try. It's been a while.
Maybe do you think you could just
different.
go topless and streak through the streets and say your name? Do you think people will follow us?
I think at this point we get a smash cut to like the ship that we saw earlier in the flashback. Like everything's all sepia tone, so it's clearly a memory. You know, it's gone into port, and Constance is following this captain, and the captain specifically says, "Now, when you're in port and you're looking for crew, you can't just run screaming topless through the streets announcing your name. It takes finesse. Now, there's a man in the Cheerful Nimbus, usually, by the name of Jiraki. He's an information broker, and I would like to introduce you to him." And then we come back to modern times.
Alright, so... As I'm putting my shirt back on, or Kelly's holding my shirt down. Kelly's holding my shirt down.
Yeah. She's got like her hand around both the shirt and your belt to make sure you can't pull up.
Vessinger's just unfazed. Like, I expected this to happen.
Yeah, the Nimbus is the best place, I think.
The Nimbus.
Also, crew's been paid, so they should get leave for at least a day to spend the money, be happy. Those that want to disembark.
Yes.
Are you gonna do ships or just like leave the ship if you feel like it?
It basically just be like, leave the ship if you feel like it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is who's gonna steal our ship?
I think
a pirate.
Everyone except for Mabel probably will want to take some short leave. Mabel's probably going to be like, "No, this is a pirate place. Pirate places are scary.
This isn't good."
I have a feeling that you don't steal ships when you're in the pirate capital.
Probably not.
Want to sell your ship.
Probably not.
Oh, hey, that's my ship. It came back.
Yeah.
Fair.
So do we want Albert to stay back and stand guard, or do we feel comfortable leaving our ships?
Yeah, we'll just ask some people, like, get a handful to be watch.
Yeah, we'll set it up, like, see if anyone wants to leave.
Like,
the guards will probably be willing to hang together. At this point, they're like starting to get to know the rest of the crew, but really they've known each other the longest, and this is their first time probably out of Mulland, so they're likely to want to just click together.
Yeah, so we'll have one group there, and then people are gonna come back at night for a free room, maybe. So I assume that between that, there'll be people there all the time, and we'll be fine. So we're gonna go to the Nimbus. We're gonna get some connections made.
All right.
And we'll try to find a buyer for this poor boat.
Yeah, okay, so you dock your ship at the skyport, but then you've got these two other yachts, which I guess at this point are just tied behind Lord Austenwall's Revenge.
Basically.
You probably there's like a small altercation with the port authority requesting that you tie down your other boats a little bit more so they don't drift into the skyways.
People used to respect me around here. I'm like tying up the pleasure yacht. gone for 5 years.
Did they? And who might you be?
I just turned.
Oh God, who are you? Ooh, that voice.
Just looking at him dead in the face, I'm like, oh, you'll hear. You'll hear. As soon as I go into that bar topless, they'll know I was here. I just walk past him.
He looks at you as if he kind of recognizes you, and then shakes his head and goes back to filling out forms.
Run back, slap out the forms. Constance Stormheart, and then run
away. He's just like, wait, what? And then he looks at you again as you're running away and goes, oh shit.
On the cannons. Yeah. So I'm probably gonna wait, hold on. If Constance runs off, how am I gonna be able to get to this bar?
Run after her.
Yeah, I guess
fly?
Fly probably.
Mm-hmm.
Just like gliding above her.
Yeah, there's a murmur in the crowd, sort of like you know when you're watching a really bad TV show and they have that one stock crowd gasp sound. It's that one.
Yeah.
Constance, things are different. In that, like, in the TV show version of this, we'd end up having like more and longer flashbacks than we'll actually do. So we'd see, you walking through town talking with this captain and like talking about pirate culture and what it means to be free. And we'd see, people carousing and being rowdy, but otherwise like pretty buddy and lively. And now you're seeing a lot of people huddled in doorways and alleyways, coughing, and there's like a sort of damp smell on the air that you would not associate with Sanctuary.
I would associate it with pirates, so
yeah, Albert's like, of course, disgusting pirates.
Pirate stench.
Well, this is
who doesn't want pirate stench?
Different. Stop. Whatever. Let's just get to the end. Oh, good.
Okay. Do you head to the Cheerful Nimbus?
Yep.
Yes.
Nimbus.
The Cheerful Nimbus is, as it ever was, that being a fucking disaster of a bar. There's a small stage where people can perform. You can see the stage is littered with small pieces of wood, probably from where the last performer had their instrument broken. There are stains on the walls and the furniture. There would probably be stains on the floor if it weren't covered in hay to hide that fact. And there's like, it's probably midday and there are already probably 20 assorted sailors, dock workers, and other craftspeople drinking in the common area. What would you like to do?
I just kind of burst through the doors.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we get this long shot of like the whole room, and it's just like a low murmur and like people grumbling, and then we hear this BAM, and the camera swivels quickly to the doorway, and we see Constance standing in it.
And the door slams shut again.
Yeah, like swings open and swings closed in front of her.
It's slowly pushed open. Okay. Walk in.
Okay.
I'm back. Stand there for a second.
Nobody gives a shit.
Who are you?
Is that Constance Stormheart? You hear a ginormous half-orc man from behind the bar yell after you. His name is Lawrence. He is the owner of the establishment. You were perhaps a little too familiar with him. He gets a little violent when the bar gets violent.
We're friends. And just walk up to the bar and like try to like clasp his hand for a handshake, but I'm tiny and he's huge.
Yeah, he just puts like one hand over both of yours.
Yeah.
I thought you were in Sutter jail.
Well,
that's what I thought too.
Turns out they're not used to getting stabbed in the mind. Told them I could do
it. He raises an eyebrow. And who's your uptight friend here?
Like the doors are like finished like swinging through, and you see like them like gently pushed open as Albert's like slips in behind them. Greetings. The name's Albert Vessinger, Captain Albert Vessinger, mind you.
I see. Lawrence.
Pleasure, Lawrence.
My friends call me Law. He winks at Constance.
And do they call these order?
Your friend's not very funny. Why do you keep him around?
Because he can play with this shit.
You don't need jokes when you've got a face as funny as Constance.
He like smiles at that one, pours you a drink, and sets it down while he continues his conversation with Constance.
So, where's what's his face? Teriyaki. Where's Teriyaki right now?
Jiraki?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Probably sleeping last night off in the alley. Should I go wake him?
Yeah. He'll want to see my face. I'm pretty
sure.
Alright.
He reaches into the bar, pulls out some like really expensive distilled like whiskey or scotch or whatever, and pours some out. Since I know you'll take it anyway, hands it to you. Keep an eye on the bar for me.
Alright. And like he walks out, you just see me walk behind the bar and put the glass under, then just pick up the bottle.
Okay, so the two of you are left alone in this bar for a moment, and like most of the people are looking at you, like they got their pints and they're like
turtles.
Yes, I am the Dread Pirate, I am the Eternal Storm, and I'm back.
There's some murmuring. If you're Constance Stormheart, where's your sword?
You were a little bit taller in the stories.
Well, that's a good question, and I plan on finding out.
Everyone knows you can recognize the dread pirate Constance Stormheart from her Oolite blade. What's that steel you've got?
Well, it's steel. I'm gonna have spare. Don't want to chip the Oolite. They don't let you keep your magic items in Suttergall, okay? Just calm down now before I have to stab you in your mind.
A murmur goes around the room. And then like the back door opens and Lawrence comes in with Jiraki. He's a fairly poorly kempt Earth Genasi, wearing just some like dirt brown robes and a cloak, probably to hide the stains that would be there otherwise. And he stumbles in. So, it's true what they said. You were in jail.
Yeah, I got caught. I jumped off the ship and I gambled for a few hours while guards surrounded me.
And the good captain? He asks, implying your previous captain. And while this conversation is happening, Lawrence like grunts, grabs the bottle, puts it back under the counter, and gives the glass back to you.
Well, the captain, that's a story of well, that's what I need to talk to you about. This time I'm not really worried about those normal things. Don't worry about the Weather egg right now. Where's my fucking ship?
Don't ask me. Last I heard about it, that, you were on it and causing some significant trouble, if the stories are to be believed.
Yeah, and then I jumped off of it, and now it's nowhere to be found.
Well, the last time the descent was seen in this port was when it left with you.
How would they survive? My ship didn't get sunk.
I would be as shocked as you.
No, it's my ship.
Well, regardless, wonderful to see you again, and alive, and not in jail. Both of us not in jail. This calls for a drink. Lawrence! Put it on my tab. Lawrence nods in like a of course motion and gets him a drink, and Jiraki raises his glass and says, "To the return of the eternal storm!" And the bar, like, knowing Jiraki and knowing that he has a reputation, will be like, "Oh, well, oh, that's actually her." And everyone's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!"
I just lean over to Lawrence. What's his tab at?
15 gold already.
And then I just slide him 15 gold.
He nods. Much appreciated. He just like shovels it into his lockbox. So
I just lean over to Albert. This is how you do business with him. Just pay for his drinks and you get everything you need. Lean back in.
It's important that you take care of the varnish on a wooden bar. Dreadfully scratched out.
Lawrence is actually like, he gives you a slightly surprised look, and he like leans in and starts engaging in conversation with like how to properly take care of wooden furniture and upholstery, and like, well, yeah, I was considering a teak, or maybe a nice redwood. So, Constance, now that you're back, I assume you're getting up to your usual work?
Yeah, to a degree. We're going to be branching out a little bit.
Please, do tell.
Well, just had a lot of time to sit there and think in jail. A lot of it. A lot of time. It's like 5 years.
That's a long time.
And I thought, how can I get back at Molokai? How could I just truly rip out his heart? Then I realized it's the Empire. So all I have to do is start a rebellion and take down the Empire.
What?
Yeah.
He looks around the bar and just like leans in. Are you serious?
I mean, normally no. But in this case, a little bit.
Does that mean you're getting some of the old gang together?
You know me so well.
Well, 5 years is a long time, Stormheart, and while the game's still the same, some of the players have changed. Gary... Oh wait, no, Terry. Is it Terry? Terry is the name of the dog that barks outside Top Hat's house.
I don't know its actual name, but I decided to call it Terry because that's happens enough.
Terrible.
Ha! God. Whew. Hey, Top Hat, how do you feel about making this a one-player campaign?
Please do.
Yeah, so the game's still the same, but some of the players have changed. Most of the old guard, some of them are still around, most of them are still working, and it'll take time to get a hold of them. But if you're open to new names, I've got some shipless people in the city at the moment.
I'm hoping to stock we stole a trader from slightly military geared trader from Sutter Gall, and we've got a yacht. Mostly it's going to use that to transport some more crew, so when we get our next ship, we can pilot it.
Seems reasonable.
So,
I've got some names for good, hardworking deckhands and general crew, and got a short list of standouts for boarding. That's what that's the kind of work you're looking to do.
oh, you know me. Give me all of them.
Yeah, he like reaches into his robes and pulls out a piece of parchment and a quill and a inkwell and starts writing down names and telling you where to find people. Most of them are just like, you can hire crew pretty easily. But the two names he pulls out for more elite fighting are Zaire, who is a Genasi tracker from Maradoon, and Lifo Yarut, who is a construct fighter that Jiraki doesn't really know where he came from. He just sort of showed up in Sanctuary at one point and has been looking for work, so...
That's an oddly familiar name.
I have no idea what you mean. We've never played a campaign together before. So, yeah.
Don't know how he's going to feel about being a pirate. Freedom, though. Maybe.
We just do a smash cut to Mel Gibson shouting, "Freedom!"
If that's not in the YouTube version.
Copyright.
I'll
link to it.
Edition? The HD Blu-ray.
Yeah, there we go. The director's, the DM's cut.
That dog is annoying as hell.
I'm so sorry.
I've tried to stay focused, then I just hear this dog. Terry really needs love. His owners don't love him enough.
Clearly.
There's a whole story that goes along with Terry at this point. I don't even know which house it is. I just know it's below my house.
These are fun times. These are fun times that you have with this
dog. I want to find
dog.
out which house it is and see if I can throw dog bones that far.
Just send it treats. Terry, this is for you.
Throw a steak across 2 yards.
It's just with love.
I might teach it to actually bark more if I do this, but whatever.
Yeah, that would not be
for a little bit.
That would not be good. So what sort of stuff would you like to handle while you're here in Sanctuary? Clearly stocking up, getting crew.
Yeah, selling a boat.
Yes. You can sell the one that you stole at the end of last session, or the one that you commandeered.
This poor boat.
Yeah, currently titled "This Poor Boat." You can sell that at market.
So
that's 5,000.
5,000. I will just immediately mark that in. Remove this poor boat from our list.
Here, I'll mark it in my inventory.
5,000.
Oh, you can just list it as 5,000.
Yeah, you guys.
So in the ship details, I'm just kind of putting our combined gold there because.
Oh, okay, that's a smart move.
We're gonna just take chunks out of it at a time. I don't want to have to bother dealing with. Well, how much gold do you have? Of course, we have our own separate piles of gold, but for simplicity's sake, there's two of us.
We're civilized. We have our own piles of gold as well.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna need more tons of food. I will do the math on this during the next break. We're just gonna say we shopped.
Yeah.
So, while all this is happening, Albert's probably gonna be talking around, asking, like just making small talk, like question, like querying sailors and like where they're going, what their plans are. Mm-hmm. Maybe like trying to drum up a few people to join us if possible.
Yeah. Constance's name pulls a lot of weight here, much like your name would pull a lot of weight in an Imperial barracks.
Yeah.
And so people just knowing that that she's around and that she's going to be on the ship are interested in going with, because and like you even caught some of this even though you were in prison, like just hearing people coming in and talking about her or hearing the guards gossiping. She made a lot of money as a pirate before she was caught. And she was a big pain for the Empire before getting arrested. So people are all about making some of that sweet eternal storm gold.
So
new Empire wages were too low.
So at some point I'm gonna like turn to Lawrence and like, is my 10-year lease on one of the rooms upstairs still good?
I mean, you paid for it. I was gonna give it to someone else.
Oh no, I assumed I was dead. I went to Sutter Gall. Only someone as amazing as me could break out of there.
Okay, I may have rented it once or twice, but that's it. I promise.
This one is wonderful.
On my stuff. Like you just see me just go behind a bar, like into like a back area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you have to like go up a back way to get to the room. Is there a door that leads to it, or is it behind like a hidden panel?
Yeah, I think that like we get to like there's like rows of doors. I just turn away from the rows of doors, just slide like a panel out of the way.
Nice. Yeah. What does Constance's old room look like besides a little dusty?
So yeah, like I walk in and then there's light a candle and just like so I strike. I guess it would be striking a lantern. And so you see, it light up and there's like maps charting like all of these different like Imperial ships and like almost conspiracy theory style like rope charts leading to like various locations Molokai was deployed to, like accounts for like 5 years worth of, or like a couple years worth of battles and like how many ships he brought, like all of this just random information like written on all the walls, and then like scorch marks on some places, and then like a journal just full of logs of like ships hit, ships sold, like all of my old ledgers. Mm-hmm. And then just like bed on the floor with just overly fluffy blankets. After all the super serious stuff, the bed is just
fluffy blankets. Comfortable. Yeah. I think we get another like sepia-toned flashback to like Constance maybe bent over, leaning over a desk with all of these papers, like writing down notes. And there's a knock on the wall, and the panel slides. And it's the captain, and she says, I thought this is where you would be. I'm concerned, Constance. I know that you would... I know better than to question your dedication as my quartermaster, but... She looks over the papers. Some things run deeper than loyalty. Vengeance is one of those things.
He will pay, but it won't be at the cost of your crew. Just continue scribbling. Plus, you know me. I'll just get him by pure chance one lucky day in the street.
That's, She just laughs. Well, I've got a present for you, if you're trying to find him. She, hands you a piece of paper. Got word there's an artifact was taken off an arrested Imperial captain. Spyglass can help you track people. This is the lead I have.
And then yeah, I'll just like take it and open it, and then cutscene fades.
Yeah. And it's like, all of your papers are still there. Your blankets aren't where you left them because the room has been rented once or twice. But other than that, it's like it's all where you left it. And maybe we see Constance like running her hand over some of the familiar furniture. And then we sort of like pan down like through the floorboards back down to the main area. And a woman walks up to the bar and slaps some coins on the table. Lawrence, thank you for the stay and the meal. Any letters I should be taking with me back to the mainland? And Lawrence says, yeah, just a moment, and he'll go rummage around in the back to try and get some like correspondence that he's been holding on to. Albert, what are you up to?
Right. So I was kind of like talking to people at the bar, trying to get a feel for this. I'm not a pirate. I'm a sailor for the Empire 7 years ago. So I'm trying to get back on my feet here. Yeah. So I'll be talking around, and I noticed this happen.
Yeah.
All right. I'll like go over and be like, excuse me, miss. You handle some kind of postage?
She pulls like her blouse to the side, and you see a tattoo of a north-pointing compass on her collarbone. She says, "I'm a traveler." The travelers, for those of you who don't know, who are essentially everyone, because I came up with them this week, are an international faction. They started as a holy order in Mara Dune before the war, but quickly spread throughout Hersagul, and they are seekers of hidden truths and secrets, and like they do a whole lot of a lot of archaeology and trying to find the old world artifacts and places that survived the cataclysm, but because of their position as like a holy order, people like them. People feel that they are agents of and vessels of the divine, which is sort of like the overall religious holy force that most of the people in the Empire worship. And so the Empire realized a long time ago that it would be bad for business to fuck with them. And so travelers are afforded the privilege of being able to cross borders without harassment and in general find goodwill wherever they go. So because of that, they have a tendency to carry letters for people to help fund their travels and their searches. And since they go all over the place, you can and because they are theoretically guided by divine providence toward whatever secrets they are fated to find, you can generally hand a letter to a traveler, give them some money, and expect that without giving them like in this city, the letter will arrive where it needs to go.
Yeah. So I'll be like, fair enough. I have a letter that I need to be delivered. I don't know if she's even there anymore, but I guess there's always trying.
She shrugs. It's always worth the roll of the dice.
Yep. Wait, did you say roll the dice?
Yeah. Well, she says it's always worth a roll of the dice.
I'm like,
roll a d20. Like see if it arrives.
there's this sense that your letter will probably get to the place it needs to go eventually, but there's no telling how many hands it'll pass through. like how many different travelers will carry it before it gets there. So it's like this feeling of fate around the whole thing. So she'll take the letter, and just any amount of coin that you feel appropriate, she'll take.
Take like. I mean, we just got a ton of money, so I'll just give her all the money in my person because I need this delivered.
All right.
And like you know, I like it's a coin pouch of 20 gold, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll heft the pouch and look at it appraisingly, like, this must be important to you. And she looks at the name on the letter, and she looks back at you. I see. Very well. She'll like tuck the letter away and put the coin purse on her belt. And Lawrence comes back into the room with like a stack of letters all tied up. Oh, you never make this easy for me, do you? She grabs the letters, slams the rest of her drink. Pleasure seeing you as always. Turns to you. Pleasure meeting you, Captain.
I'm gonna I'm gonna turn to her. Oh, just hold on just a moment. I figured that one of your order might know this. Have you heard of a spyglass? It's rather dear to me.
I know what they are, yes.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Looking for a specific one?
Well, it is my spyglass, and it is very unique.
I think we had a name for it, didn't we? Yeah, the spyglass of Tar Hazim.
The spyglass of Tar Hazim.
Ah, you are who I thought you were. She puts the letters back down, and Lawrence clearly is like, wait, this is a person I should know about? I haven't seen it personally, but some whispers have been going around the Order that someone else has been holding on to it for you. A Lieutenant Smithers, if I recall. Which may be a name. It's probably a name that Albert is familiar with. What relation do you have to this lieutenant from the olden days?
Lieutenant Hithers. We probably sailed on like the first ship together while we were still, you know, before Albert became a proper captain. I imagine that we probably like sailed on the same ship together and became friends then, and then, you know, kind of you know, kept in touch and kept in contact and we're old friends back from the glory days. And I've entrusted him with a few of my like secrets in the past. So, you know, he is kind of one of the people, and one of the people that Albert actually trusts. He's still around.
Right. So.
Interesting. Thank you. You have my appreciation.
She'll like clap you on the shoulder. Good luck with that one. She'll take her letters and salute and head off. What would you like to do?
So where do you get the materials to maintain this woodwork? It's a pirate bay, not a proper Mullins?
Yeah, this is not Mullined oak, certainly.
It's not Mullined oak.
No, it's actually it's an oolite infused cedar from the wildlands. Prized because you know, why don't we take our first break here? And we'll come back after the break and maybe meet some new people, and see what sort of business you guys have left to conclude in Sanctuary. So
Pleasure Palace, yeah.
And play cards on the Pleasure Palace. So we're going to ignore the two of them, take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple minutes.